Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It is prop firm review time again, and today we're diving deep into Blueberry Funded. Now, these guys have been making some waves in the prop firm world lately, and you guys have been asking for the review, so that's exactly what we're delivering today. Blueberry Funded was launched in August 2024, so they're fairly new to the prop firm world, but do not let that fool you. They've quickly gained a lot of attention, so we're going to dive in and find out exactly why that is, and also find out, are they worth your money in 2025? I'm going to break down everything you need to know, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and anything that might catch you off guard. And as always, this is a completely unbiased review. We do not get any kickback from this prop firm. We are not affiliated with them. We are just doing this review to help you guys bring the information and make the decision if you're potentially looking at using this prop firm. We get our information through thorough research and backed by a huge community of traders who are constantly using multiple different prop firms. Because of this, we're getting so much feedback on these prop firms that potentially could help you guys out. As you guys might know, here at Blue Edge Financial, we have an incredible system that passes prop firms for our clients. We've currently got over 1,200 of our members funded with prop firms. We get a lot of data coming through for a lot of different prop firms, and that's why we feel like we can do these prop firm reviews. We feel like we can bring you guys the real insights. So as always, we're going to be covering the same thing we always do to keep it fair with all of the other reviews we've done. We're going to be looking at the challenges, the rules, and the regulations. Then we're going to be looking at the company as a whole, looking at the company overview. And then the third thing we're going to be looking at is the platform and the trading conditions. And then finally, we're going to be looking at anything unique or special that they might offer that other prop firms do not. So with that being said, let's dive straight into the challenges that they offer and see the rules. They offer 5 different types of challenges. I'm going to be looking mainly at the 1-step and the 2-step. They also offer a rapid, a stock, and a synthetic. The rapid is essentially just a faster version of your 1-step, and it also costs a lot less, but you basically have a time limit to get this done. So a profit target of 5%, max total loss of 4%, daily loss of 3%, and a profit share of 80%. It is a trailing drawdown, so you have to be aware of that. So that means your drawdown is trailing you. So as you're making profits, that drawdown is going to be following you. So you've got to be aware of that, because a lot of people are not aware of that, and they think that their drawdown level is set in place, and it is not. This can catch a lot of people out. Make sure you are aware of it. Now, they do say there is a time limit. Now, I think this is what makes it a rapid. So I think you've got a time limit to basically get this done. For me, it's not something I'd be interested in, because I do think that the rules and everything that you're basically, how you'd have to trade to do this would be very difficult. And this is why I think they drop the price, because it makes it more attractive, but that does not mean it is any easier. I think, in fact, it's harder. With that being said, let's look at the stock. Now, the stock is also a 2-phase. You've got a phase 1 and a phase 2, 8%, 4%. I'm not going to be going too much into this. Now, I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is to do with the types of pairs or types of things that you can trade. This is more to do with stock, and then the synthetic obviously isn't synthetic. What I'm going to be looking at is the 1-step and the 2-step. So for the 1-step, you've got 1 step to get to your funded account. You've got a profit target of 10%, max loss of 6%. Your daily loss is only 4%, which is kind of your average, I would say. The max loss is a little bit low, so you've got to be aware of that. 6% as a max total loss is a lot lower, with your profit target being quite high. So that difference in your max loss to your max target, you've got to be aware of that. So it's going to be quite a difficult one to get to. It is only 1 step or 1 evaluation or 1 phase to pass. So that's why they're going to make it a bit harder. Profit share is 80%. Max drawdown is static, which is good. Your daily drawdown is higher of previous days, equity or balance based. Your leverage is 1 to 30 on your FX pairs. Your evaluation, minimum trading of 3 days. Funded is also a minimum of 3 days. So there's going to be some kind of consistency rule in there. The fact that they've got a 3-day minimum for your funded, so something you have to be aware of. And then your payout frequency is 14 days. Account copy trading, they say yes. Prohibited trading strategy. We're going to look at that in a bit. So let's look at the price. It is, I would say, on the higher end, in particular because it is a fairly new prop firm, quite high for a starting price. I think I have seen some deals going around, which is a good thing. I don't like to see a huge amount of ridiculous deals constantly with a prop firm. That's a bit of a red flag. I wouldn't say I've seen a huge amount of deals. I have seen some, but in general, quite a high price. Let's have a look then at the 2-step. I'm a big fan of the 2-step. That's kind of the OG, right? So you've got your 2 phases. First phase, 10% profit target. Second phase, 5%. Your max total loss is 10%. Your daily loss is 5%. This is standard, like what you'd expect when you were looking at something like FTMO. So kind of sticking to, the OG rules, which is what I really like. Max drawdown drawdown type is static. Your daily drawdown type is higher of previous day equity or balance. Your time limit is unlimited. Leverage is 1 to 50. So it is slightly lower than your more popular ones. You generally see 1 to 100, but 1 to 50 is still good. Minimum trading days is 3. Be aware of that. There's going to be some kind of rule which says you've got to be trading 3 days, or you cannot have your biggest day being bigger than 40 or 50% of your total. There's going to be something in place, and we're going to be looking at that in a bit. Payout frequency, 14 days, so you can get your payout every 2 weeks. Your prohibited strategies are pretty much what you'd expect. Excessive scalping means you can't hold 50% or more of your trades for less than a minute. You're not going in with just real big trades like going for a massive win quickly or losing. So kind of gambling type trading, they don't want to see that. Martingale, so they don't like to see martingale, which is you cannot respond to losing trades by placing a larger position in that asset. So essentially, if you're placing a buy, it goes against you, then place a buy again for double the lot size just to try and cover. So it's kind of all that gambling type trading. They don't like that. So they don't want to see martingale. They don't want to see position stacking. Position stacking is strictly limited to maintain appropriate risk distribution. You can have a maximum of 4 trades simultaneously on the same pair, right? So that means you cannot hold more than 5 positions on a single pair, or more than 7 simultaneously across different assets. On a single asset, you cannot hold more than 4, right? So definitely worth bearing in mind. I myself have a strategy that I can do 5, so I would have to bring that down to 4. It's all to do with gambling, right? That gambling kind of mindset, right? So this is definitely something you want to go through and have a look. Grid style trading, that's just placing against yourself. Now they do say with no clear risk management. I myself have a strategy that is somewhat grid style, but it's essentially one trade broken up into 4. So there's a lot of risk in place. And I think my strategy, even though I'm grid trading, would be allowed. So definitely worth having a look at that, guys. Now, $500, not too bad for a challenge. Is kind of what you'd expect. A 2-phase challenge, $500. Now, I think that's okay. $500 is definitely not too bad. I think anything over $500 gets a little bit more expensive. If you can find a deal with this, then it's pretty good, right? So all in all, the 1-step and the 2-step, I think they are very good. I think the 1-step maybe is going to be a little bit harder because there are some things in place there that will definitely make it harder. But all in all, I think it is very decent in terms of the rules. I like the 2-step. It is OG rules. Nothing there that to me shouts, you've got to be careful. I think 2-step for me is very good. 1-step is definitely something you can do, but I think there are going to be some more rules in place there that you've just got to keep an eye out. Now, other things worth noting is the account sizes. They range from 5,000 to 200,000, which gives you plenty of flexibility depending on your experience level and your budget. Now, some key rules across all of the challenges that are worth taking note of. News trading is restricted. You can't open or close any position 10 minutes before or after high impact news. And this is very important and definitely worth jotting down. Put that down on paper because you want to make sure you're not going to get caught out by this. I've been caught out by this in the past, even though I knew this. So make sure you are aware of it. Copy trading is allowed, which is great for EA users. Payouts every 14 days, and you have a $100 minimum withdrawal threshold. All right, so let's have a look now at the company overview. The company was founded in August 2024 by Dean Hyde. They are based in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. What makes them different from a lot of prop firms is that they are a broker-backed prop firm. They are directly partnered with Blueberry Markets, an established and regulated broker, which is very important. This is actually a huge advantage because instead of being just another prop firm trying to manage everything themselves, they have the backing and the infrastructure of a real broker. So let's check their reviews, guys. So I'm going to start by mentioning that they are listed on bestpropfirms.com and are a member of the Prop Firm Association, which is good to see. They are rated 5 stars on the Trusted Prop, and on Prop Firm Match, they are rated at 4 stars. They've got a total of 65 reviews, and on Trustpilot, they've got a 4.1 star rating. They've currently got 441 reviews. So let's have a look at the more recent, guys. The things that have come in more recently is what you want to be looking at. So we can see there are a few 5 stars. There is a 1 star. A daily drawdown should reset every day. So they've got some people talking about that. So there is a few 1 stars coming through there, but in general, you're seeing a lot of 5 stars. So the things you want to be looking out for as well is things like if you see a lot of 5-star where it's just talking about a support, issue that was solved. Often what will happen is you'll have a support issue, they'll solve it, and then they'll say, please go to Trustpilot and just give us a nice review because they know it's a good time. Make sure the 5 stars are actually talking about the company as a whole rather than just mentioning a certain person in the support team. That's one thing I would would say. But overall, not a bad rating. Possibly could be better for a prop firm that is this new. I would like to see it at about at least 4.4, 4.5. But let's give them the benefit of the doubt. They probably came into it in a very tough time. Last year was a tough time for prop firms, so people were kind of on the defense a little bit. All in all, not a bad rating for them. It's possibly going to get better for them because they are getting a lot of attention. All right, now let's jump over to looking at the trading platforms they offer and the trading conditions in general. So the trading platforms they offer are MT4, MT5, DX Trade, and Trade Locker. A nice list of platforms that they offer, which is always very good to see. And that for me is a big tick. Now the trading instruments are all the major forex pairs, commodities, indices, and cryptocurrencies. Their spreads and the executions, from what I've seen, are pretty good. Spreads are competitive, starting from 0.01 pips for major pairs. The execution is fast and reliable, which you'd expect from established broker like Blueberry Markets. Now their leverage, like I said, is a little bit on the lower side, 1 to 50 depending on their challenge and instruments. This is reasonable, and I suppose it promotes good risk management, which is what the prop firms want. Another cool feature is that they offer a demo account where you can test their conditions before committing. So make sure you do this before diving in. Test their servers out, see if it's something that you're happy with, see what their conditions are like before you actually jump in. It's cool that they actually offer this. Now from a trading conditions point of view, I think Blueberry kind of shines here. I think because they are linked to a broker like Blueberry Markets, that gives them the edge over a lot of other prop firms. And this is maybe why they are getting a little bit more attention, because their spreads and everything, I've not seen too many people complaining about that. Maybe people complain about the rules, but who doesn't complain about the rules? But I think in general, trading conditions for me are very, very good. Now, when it comes to things that are unique, the main thing I want to talk about is their scaling plan. Yes, a lot of other prop firms have scaling plans. These guys do it in a way that potentially gives you an opportunity to actually scale. Every 3 months on a funded account, if you are sticking to the rules, hitting a 10% profit target and taking at least 4 payouts, they will scale you up by 25%. So they've got an example here with a $200,000 account. If you're getting your 10%, taking 4 payouts in the first 3 months, you'll get scaled up to 250, then 300. And you can see it'll take 2 years to get up to 600,000, and they will go all the way up to 2 million. With that being said, is anyone going to be holding a funded account for over 2 years? I'm not so sure. That is very difficult to do. I know with the system we use, it's probably not likely, but we are not counting on the scaled accounts. We scale with the number of prop firms we use. That's how we scale. But it is very cool to see that they have got this scaling plan in place. The other big one is the broker-backed infrastructure. This isn't just marketing. It means real liquidity, professional execution, and the stability that comes with an established, regulated broker. For me, I think that's probably the biggest unique thing that they have. The other cool one is the copy trading. I think that's a cool one because it gives you different opportunities to scale and to trade with their accounts, which you don't normally see on some of the other prop firms. So let's finally go over some pros and cons, guys. The pros are broker back, excellent scaling program, fast bi-weekly payout, multiple challenge options for different trading styles, no time limit on most of their challenges, copy trading allowed, competitive trading conditions, professional dashboard and analytics, and multiple trading platforms available. Some of the cons are relatively new firm with a shorter track record, news trading restrictions, limited education resources compared to other prop firms I've seen. Some challenges have lower leverage limits and 10-minute news restrictions. And last but definitely not least is that they do not currently allow traders from the USA, but this is something that could potentially change because we have seen change from other companies that do not allow traders from the US now allowing traders from the US. My final thoughts are Blueberry funded worth your money in 2025? I think they are definitely worth considering because I think, you know, they offer 5 different challenges. I've only really gone over the 2 main ones, but something you can delve into by yourself. And I think it's definitely a prop firm that we're going to see more of. I hope their review numbers go up a little bit. I think they just entered the game at a tough time. But all in all, I think that Blueberry funded is a prop firm that we are definitely looking out for. I'm going to be taking some challenges myself. Would I recommend it? Yes, possibly. But please make sure you do your own research because at the end of the day, this is just educational. I'm not giving financial advice, but I would recommend it to a friend of mine. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed. Please mention if you guys have tried Blueberry. Have you guys had a good experience, a bad experience? Would love to hear any feedback about Blueberry from you guys, so pop that down in the comments. And with that being said, make sure you like the video, make sure you subscribe if you haven't, and we will see you in the next video for another prop firm review. Keep an eye out for that. Bye for now.